Hello everyone, my name is didnt. Welcome to another video, and today we talk about Istvaan 3 and what it means for the Horus Heresy and the gaming community for the Horus Heresy. Also, little disclaimer, if you hear things in my background, it's because I live in Mountain Deathfire, and Salamanders just chucked a champion inside my room to burn him virtually. No, for real, it's extremely hot. It's like not even funny hot. Like, if you hear something in the background, I'm very sorry. So, first we talk about a little lore summary on what happened on Istvaan 3. The Istvaan 3 atrocity. Horus, the traitor war master, had forged a ploy to remove the loyal parts of the four legion that at first were openly joining him. He deployed all the marines he deemed too loyal or too pure of character to the surface of Istvaan 3 via drop pods to trap them there. They were told that the Istvaanite people have rejected their compliance again and they need to be brought to heel. This was all a farce. Yes, the Istvaanites rejected their compliance again, but only because the traitor war master placed a seed of treachery. Of course, this was supposed to be a fast operation, a spear tip strike in fashion of the old lunar wolves, led by the war master. Little did these unknown heroes know that this would be their doom. Horus's plan for the removal of his loyal elements was simple. Let the loyalists destroy the renegade regime, and while exposed to the atmosphere, virus bombed them to death. It was supposed to be a clear strike against their own sons, but by the action of a true loyal son of the Imperium, an Empress Children captain called Sol Tavitz, that got hold of the plans and did his best to deny Horus a swift victory, and he succeeded. Warning the loyal legionaries on the planet's surface, and then after the bombardment joining them, he and the now Lunar Wolves captain, Gaviel Loken, mounted a heroic defense against overwhelming odds. But why didn't Horus just bomb the planet into oblivion, you might ask? It's just some loyalist space marines hiding in some bunkers on a planet. He can exterminate them. He's the War Master. Well, Angron and his World Eaters descended to the planet to give his still remaining and living sons a good death. And the most senior captain of the World Eaters on the surface, Captain Erlin, didn't want to let his father be ungreeted and attacked him at the landing zone of the now descending World Eaters. And so the most desperate campaign of attrition and the start of the Horus Heresy began. For me, this is regarded as one of the most iconic battles in the Horus Heresy. It is not only where the game started with Book 1 Betrayal, but it's also when the Traitor Legion started their descent into darkness. You have a very clear cut after Istvaan. The World Eaters are even more unreliable and even more blood mad than they were before. They are way more brutal than they were before. It is very, very, very much a good indicator for what happened on Istvaan 3. Now that we talked about the lore of the game, Istvaan 3 armies are coming back into fashion. There's a movement called Back to Istvaan, and they are like making Istvaan 3 armies, Loyalist, Empress Children, Death Guard, World Eaters or Sons of Horus. And this is where you come in and the famous vote I announced on the server. I want to join in the fun. Back in the day when Istvaan 3 was happening, in like the early 2010s, I didn't have the money to start the Horus Heresy game, but I was always lurking, kinda, I would say. Yeah, and that's why I wanna start it now when a lot of people return, and you get to vote on an army I should do on the for Istvaan 3. It would be a loyalist force of the 4 legions engaged on Istvaan 3. So either World Eaters, Emperor's Children, Death Guard, or Sons of Horus. There is a link in the description to a straw poll. I will look up which legion won a week after I uploaded the video or something. But yeah, now back to the game. The game, back in the day, the Horus Heresy was just an expansion for 6th edition Warhammer. They just I think the original plan was to just have the 3 books and never really leave the Istvaan system. I think the Horus Heresy book series has started 2007 or 2006, and the people were like, "Oh yeah, I would like to play a game like this. I would definitely do it." And then Forge World, because they had the Great Crusade armor and the Heresy armor around, because of the Forge World armor kits that were supposed to introduce a little more, how can you say it, a little more variety into the armor of the Space Marines in the 41st millennium. They also had kits for you to build your armies in the Horus Heresy. So this expansion, this Horus Heresy expansion for 6th edition Warhammer, turned out to be pretty popular. It's spawned a whole game. I would say after the first 3 books, Forge World and Games Workshop have realized that this can be its very own game. Because when the second book came out, the 7th edition was coming out 2 months later, maybe? They didn't even tell them. Maybe you should wait for the release of 7th edition before you release books 2, but yeah, doesn't matter. It was very small. It's a rather big game now, I would say. And back in the day, we can now see what the dream of Simon Egan and Alan Bly has turned into. They released new Heresy kits every week, or almost every week, and you know why? I think a lot of people forget that. They didn't have a Heresy range at the time. They had some bad-up war kits, they had some Contemptor Dreadnoughts, yes, but that's not how you that's not how you make an army with 3 different armor types and a Dreadnought. So of course they released so much kits back then. Of course they had a release a week, some new kit like Demos Predators. I don't know if the Demos Predators were around in the Bad Up War books, but I guess. But Land Raiders, whatever. They just needed to stomp out the range out of the ground because they've just birthed the game that apparently is very successful and everybody loves. And it's very nice. And then the Horus Heresy had its golden age, I would say, when they announced the Betrayal at Calth. Because now you didn't have to buy a tactical squad for, I think it was 60 euros back in the day. Kinda, I think it was 60 euros, yeah. Let's say 60 euros, you could just buy Betrayal at Calth. Have your starter army basically ready, 30 Marines, a Dreadnought, 5 Terminators and 2 Heroes. So basically almost everyone started Horus Heresy when Betrayal at Calth came out. And then out of nowhere they dropped Burning of Prospero 2 years later or 1 year later, with Custodians and Sisters of Battle, and everybody was confused. And it's so nice to see how the game became the game it is. And yeah, it's like it's in memory of the very humble beginnings of Istvaan 3. I wanna relive the hype from back in the day, because back in the day, this was like almost 10 years ago. I was still in school. I didn't earn enough money to justify buying €60 tactical squads, and Forge World had like very odd payment methods from outside the UK. You could have only paid via checks, and you don't do checks in Germany. So yeah, it's very, very odd. But I always think back to those times, and I wanna join in the army. And I think for the community to go back into Istvaan 3 is like a good thing. To go back to the humble beginnings, and look where we are now. We have the biggest Space Marine range in all of GW. It's even bigger than the range of the Space Marines in 40k, and they have basically two different armies. I know everything isn't going as well as back in the day when Ellen Bly was there, but I think we need to accept now that the Heresy range is a mature product, and there's not that much to add anymore. I maybe they add a lot, and I'm lying, but Tony Cottrell said that the Horus Heresy will be around for at least 10 years. 1 year ago, in December, when they had the Q&A stream. I trust Tony on that. They recently just released or will be going to release another Blood Bowl edition. And that's certainly not going as well as the Horus Heresy. So, maybe it's good for us as the community to go back to the to Istvaan 3 and know which humble beginnings we have. Thank you all for listening so long to me. I've been rambling a lot at the end, how I usually do at this type of video. Thank you all for listening. Like, comment, and subscribe. Click the links in the description: Discord, Twitter, Facebook, and the poll. Vote on the poll for my Istvaan 3 slow grow, and maybe join the Discord server and also slow grow an Istvaan 3 army. Very thankful that you have listened to me. This has been didnt. Goodbye and stay healthy.